Hey guys, today we're going to go through 11 of the most common logical fallacies that are present in the fitness industry and also everywhere in life. The better you get at noticing them, the better choices you'll make. Just before we begin, don't forget to subscribe so you get more of these cool videos that'll make you smarter. Logical fallacies are absolutely everywhere. It's actually pretty terrible. For those of you who don't know what a logical fallacy is, it's essentially flawed logical reasoning. What you're saying doesn't make sense or just completely misses the point. And that is pretty bad because oftentimes people can be very convincing even though they're completely wrong. And that can lead you to make big mistakes. For example, you might be led to believe that every white person is racist because that's how it was portrayed on the media. Or you might be telling people that bacon makes you skinnier because if the keto people can get ripped abs while eating bacon, then so can you. Or you might believe that the earth is flat. Why would you believe that? No, seriously, why? Anyways, somewhere this logic doesn't make sense. So we're going to learn how to get better at noticing these flawed ways of thinking so that you can make smarter decisions and not believe everything that everyone tells you, which tends to be a big problem nowadays. The ability to think critically is honestly a superpower. This is why philosophy is so important in any field. But today we're going to focus specifically on fitness-related examples of how everyone you've listened to might be wrong. And let's start with number 1, the ad hominem fallacy. This is when you attack someone personally instead of the argument they're trying to make it seem like they're wrong. For example, don't listen to them because they take steroids and their advice sucks for natural lifters. How many times did you hear that? Or because they're a douchebag, or because they're a hypocrite, or they've been caught lying so many times, their arguments are invalid. Or they're too skinny to give muscle building advice. Listen. Just because they're an awful person or they might have a flaw, it does not automatically mean that what they're saying is necessarily invalid. Our second logical fallacy is the appeal to popularity or authority. Just because someone's popular, it doesn't mean that they're right. Just because your favorite fitness influencer has millions of subscribers on YouTube, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily right or the most right. They could just have better marketing or more money or just be better looking and attract more subscribers. Logical fallacy number 3, the false dichotomy. This is when you're only giving 2 possible options. For example, the only way to build muscle is 8 to 12 reps, or else you won't gain any muscle. It's this or that. No other options exist. And we both know that that's not necessarily true. You can build muscles in any rep range, but people will use that in arguments to try and make it seem like their argument's better. Number 4, the burden of proof fallacy, which says unless they have proof, their argument is automatically wrong. But someone might say something really smart and new, and just because they don't have proof, you're going to completely discount it? Not everyone has or wants to pull out 34 scientific studies in the middle of a conversation. So just because they don't have proof, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're automatically wrong. And this brings us to our fallacy number 5, correlation equals causation, which means that just because things are correlated doesn't mean that they're causing that thing. For example, many of you superstitious people tend to think like this. There might be a high correlation between wearing your lucky socks and winning a soccer match, but it doesn't mean that those socks made you win that soccer match. By that same token, there might be a high correlation between Olympic athletes and Gatorade consumption. But just because you drink a shit ton of Gatorade, it doesn't make you become a better Olympic athlete. Fallacy number 6, the strawman arguments. This is when you misrepresent the other person's argument in order to disprove it. For example, if I say that lifting heavy weights are a great way to build muscle, someone might respond saying, "This guy's saying that lifting heavy weights is better than lifting light weights. He's wrong." That's not what I said. Number 7, slippery slope. This is when you exaggerate all the possible consequences to try to make a point. For example, Going vegan is bad because if you eat vegan, you're not going to get enough nutrients, and you'll start losing muscle, and you're going to get weaker, and you're going to develop anemia, and you won't be able to go out to eat with us anymore because you can't eat anything on the menu, and we won't be able to see you anymore. And then you're going to die of starvation, and you're going to be all alone and depressed. Not necessarily. Number 8, the bandwagon fallacy. This is when you assume that something is automatically right if everyone does it. And don't forget about the anti-bandwagon fallacy, which is just because no one does it doesn't mean that it's better. For example, conventional exercises work because everyone does them. Or unconventional movements are the best because no one does them. It's a secret. The majority of people don't even work out. Does that mean it's the right thing to do? No. What people do don't really matter. Number 9, the middle ground fallacy. This is thinking that the middle ground must always be the right answer. Just because you think a carnivore or a vegan might be too extreme, it doesn't necessarily mean that the middle is exactly the right way to go. Alright, number 10, the anecdotal fallacy. This is when you think something is right just because someone witnessed it happening. Oftentimes these come in stories. For example, yo, my buddy always smokes a joint before his workout and he's the most jacked person I know now. Maybe that's what people need, that's the secret. No, not necessarily. Number 11, and this is the last one, guys, the fallacy fallacy. Just because their argument relies on the fallacy, it doesn't inherently mean that they're wrong. I know, it's a vicious circle. So hopefully this video made you think a little bit more. Share this video to someone who you think needs a lesson in logical fallacies, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. And thanks for watching.